broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to AfterBuzz TV. We are here with your Bachelor in Paradise after show. Oh my gosh, we have so much to get into. I am so excited. Not only do we have surprise guests on the panel, we have a surprise sitting on the couch. If you follow myself or Brooks on Snapchat, Sarah, did you Snapchat it?
Yes, I Snapchatted
Sarah's Snapchatting.
What's going on?
Like 2 weeks in a row, you're here.
3.
Whoa. Is it technically
the first time I was on the couch.
You're on the couch.
So this is what happens.
This
is what happens when you first show up.
Folks, if you don't know who that voice is, I'm introducing him first because he just literally rolled in the studio 3 minutes ago, straight from After Paradise. Mr. Dan Cox.
Yay!
How you guys doing?
Dude, you're here at our show.
I'm here. I'm alive.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Paradise.
You did a little wardrobe change, by the way.
I did. I had to. It was too much.
Were those weren't your clothes?
Those were my clothes, yeah.
Were those? Did you style yourself?
So I literally went back to the hotel, and then Brooks was like, "Get down here." I'm like, oh, "Okay." Called an Uber, and I made it in.
Yeah.
But now I'm happy.
For those of you listening, we tape in Los Angeles. After Paradise tapes in Los Angeles. So Dan is here. Was on After Paradise with the whole crew tonight, and then literally, so that voice you're hearing, Dan just came straight from After Paradise to lend his voice to our show.
And I haven't even seen After Paradise yet.
So you don't know how you did.
I don't know.
So
I'm waiting for you guys.
You interview us.
Just break me apart.
Ask us what you want to know.
20 questions.
How'd it go overall?
Your wardrobe looked amazing.
You did. The haircut looks good.
Now I look like crap, right?
Everyone's
I like your
talking about
haircut
your
a little better than
haircut.
Joe's.
No, because they gave you you had more outfits than anybody else. That's why I made that.
No, I appreciate that. That's tied back to like 2 episodes ago. So I saw a picture of Joe. Someone sent me, and he literally had my same haircut.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, or he was like styled the hard part and everything.
Yeah.
And so I went to my barber like a couple days ago, and I was like, we gotta just take it a little tighter. I don't want to be confused.
So you did have the part a little like where Joe had it right here, and then you just
took it up.
Yeah, nice.
Change things up. All right, so I feel like we skipped over a couple things. You guys are probably wondering who's sitting next to Dan on the couch right here. So in the middle with the man bun, turn sideways so we can see it. This is not a Mikey T man bun. This is a real.
That's how it's done.
This is Mr. Joel Bennett. Next to Joel, my buddy Harrison Conley.
Yay.
These guys and I, we're going to Israel in the morning. I don't know which the camera's at, but we're going to Israel in the morning, so they're hanging out. They decided to come hang too. Thank you for being here, guys.
Watch the show. They've got some thoughts.
Yeah, they are newbies, but they are hanging just to hang, which we love. Next to me, a returning guest.
Hi.
You remember, she's an author, and she's one of the best people in the entire universe.
You're sweet.
Miss Elyse Murphy.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back.
Good to have you back.
She's from Australia, in case you didn't know. And next to Elyse, my new best friend in the world, she came to my birthday party.
That's so nice of you to say. That's a huge
You
honor.
came to my birthday. What are we talking about? Sarah Herron.
Thank you.
Third time this season.
I'm excited, yes.
Well, the fans always said they really love you, they wanted you, and then you decided not to come on our show 6 times? Was it 5 or was it 6?
That's rough.
Probably 6.
But you're here now.
But
You've made up for it.
Yeah,
3 in a row.
I'm delivering now.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, you're 50% of the way there. And then that's all of our... Oh, yeah, there's another guy. Yeah.
One more.
You're listening to the smooth sounds of Bachelor in Paradise. My name's
really
Brooks
good.
Forester. Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to get down and dirty. We're going to get dirty and down, and we want to hear your thoughts. All right.
God, can you say that to me later? Can last thing I hear on my birthday. All right, so Dan, right away, I'm coming at the top from you. You saw the episode.
I saw the episode.
Overall, like, compressed thoughts.
God. So the overall theme of it was just so hard to like Joe was just grabbing for. It was almost like dangling a carrot in front of Samantha, like trying to blackmail her to like him, and it was just awkward. And I don't know if that came out of the episode, but the whole time I'm looking at it like, how do you even do that?
Right.
Like, if she doesn't like you, just walk away, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, don't throw text messages out like, hey, I got these.
I don't think he gets a hint.
Yeah, no.
He's pulling a Mikey T right there. but worse. You know, but like I guess that's not unfair. Mike, if you're watching, that was unfair. But those of us watching, we felt the same way, right?
We were talking about it during the show, and the way it came across was like, I leaned over to Sarah and I was like, that may be the most unattractive thing a guy can do is like beg you to continue to date him.
He was like begging to date
and
he was also manipulating, and then also. And then also saying he was like insecure, so it's almost like you need to be coddled too, right? Like,
exactly.
I don't deserve you, but I will show these text messages.
It's definitely the most.
Did you guys know? Remember when Ashley I was saying like I'll never find love again? He kind of started doing the exact same thing in his last interview, which was interesting.
That's why I didn't understand why they talk to each other about it. I was like, you're both as bad as each other. Don't like.
So you think Joe would have not apologized like he did tonight on After Paradise if he hadn't been served up the same dish he served Julia by Sam?
No chance. No. He's on like apology tour right now. I mean, he realizes he's screwed. All we were asking was for him to apologize on the show. That was it. It was like just admit up to it, because at the end of the day, we're all. I mean, you've been there. Everyone's trying to find something, and you're trying to vet out relationships, right? If you in the real world, if you're in the middle of a move, if you're changing jobs, if you have all these other stresses going on, you can't focus 100% on the relationship. And that's why we kept trying to, like, it was just like a black cloud over Paradise for this whole time. We're like, just come clean, admit to it, and we can all walk away. Like, it'll be fine. So here's my
question. If he would have gave the apology he gave tonight on the show, like while you guys were filming, change things?
When it happened, but I mean, he was so deep at this point. Like at this episode, we all just would have, fine.
You're like, over it.
Well, you just couldn't believe anything he said, right? Yeah. So everything coming out of his mouth is just constant, like.
Yeah.
Yes. Next question.
Thank you for calling. I just like thank you for. I've been watching the show for the last 6 months.
Thanks
I
for
really
being a
appreciate
fan.
it. So my question, I guess, is if.
Try again.
Gotta keep it together. All right, so he kind of did a little mini kind of takeaway there. Joe did, like falling on the sword a little bit, like, you know what, I did talk to, and then he came back. Did that make you guys feel like, okay, let's, because he was kind of isolated there for a bit. Did you guys kind of bring him back and be like, all right, Joe, like, people started to feel kind of bad for him there? Was that real, or was that just a part of the edit?
I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, that was one portion, right? No one ever hung out with him that much. Like at that point when Samantha had kind of dropped him, he went hiding. He was like a hermit crab.
So he was like Tom Hanks on Castaway. That moment when he put it, he really was.
Were you guys ever concerned about just like his mental well-being though? Like, I'm scared watching it.
It was. I don't even know how to answer that. He was literally the worst human being coming into it. I'm not joking. He was like a bad person when he was super depressed. Like, no one really felt bad for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, okay, so here, I don't want to do this. I feel like we skipped over this. First of all, shout out to everybody on Chat Roll. Thank you guys so much. Dan, everybody's loving that you guys are here and agreeing with you. This is great. People are on your side. Should we do a live poll, like on After Paradise?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Can I suggest?
Just don't put a parrot in it this time. That's the worst thing ever.
Or that other lady.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody in Chat Roll. Thank you for tweeting. I got so many tweets and Snapchats. I know that we were getting a lot of stuff this week. Kathy is still in New York, so just for everybody that's asking.
We miss you, Kathy.
We miss you, Kathy. She's still in New York. JC is not here this season, as you guys know that, but I still get asked about it about every 3.5 hours. And then last but not least, we want to clear up some things about what we said about Samantha, well, namely me. So I know that we defended Samantha a lot because we know her, and I just want to be really careful. And Dan, I know you and I just met tonight, so you don't know that. So Sam and I are friends. And I defended her a little bit in the sense after last week's episode, because kind of what we talked about on the after show, and kind of like what Michelle was saying tonight, you get tunnel vision and you do things that are out of character. Kind of even in Joe's apology tonight, he said, shouldn't have done it. That's not me. That's not a representation of who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's where Samantha is. I talked to her a little bit today. Do I agree with how she handled it and a little bit of the backstabbing with Julia? No. And I want to clarify this because a lot of people came at me on YouTube.
Come at me.
Come at me, bro.
I dare you come at Danny.
But I wasn't condoning her behavior and what she did. That's not okay, and she knows that. What I was saying is that I know her heart, and that's not her. So I was more saying what Joe said about himself. I was saying on behalf of Samantha. She didn't ask me to. I'm saying I know her character, and that wasn't her. Just want to clarify that.
And I would say one thing as well. I think we have all done...
We being females?
Stupid stuff. No, we being humans.
The human race, okay?
The human race have all done stupid stuff when we like someone. Like, I think... if we were all filmed and there were editors and producers and all that stuff, like I cringe at the thought of like someone filming me when I'm like
brushing your teeth.
If you would have filmed me from 7 a.m. this morning to 10:30 a.m.
Like I just think that kind of, and there are things that everyone's like, that wasn't the best, but I bet she's watching it too and saying like, that wasn't the best. Like, regret doing that. And so,
Sarah, have you done that? Have you been there?
I think we do things that maybe aren't like our true character when you're under that microscope, maybe, but I don't know. I'm still having a hard time buying and believing that she might be a great person at home and the way you know her, but I don't think it really makes up for the fact that she was lying and manipulating people.
That's true.
I just don't. At the end of the day, I don't think.
I don't know why we made such a big deal of it anyway. To a degree, I mean, I know people talked about it like, oh, they talked before, and then why come on the show? It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, they came on Bachelor in Paradise because they only bring people that were on Bachelor and Bachelorette. That's why they were on the show. So, like, that was a little bit of my opinion. And I know people have talked to this at length, and I don't disagree or agree with them. I just think that's what it was. If she would have just been like, yeah, we talked, I think it would have been like a nothing. You just would have...
Totally.
No one cared that her and Nick talked, really.
I think Carly said that tonight. It was lies on top of lies, and it's tough to have a look.
She did. Carly said that. She also used the word freaking as many times as Samantha used the word drama.
Drama.
So what's your take on the Samantha side of it?
So I actually take Samantha's side on this as well, just because I think when she came in, she kind of fell into this. I mean, it was a lie, right? She fell into it. And so they both kind of owned it together. She's trying to dig her way out. They're both going to look bad, obviously, right, coming out of this.
Yeah.
And it's just tough because I feel like I'm seeing some new things, too, that obviously there's the parts on the interviews that you don't see when you're there. And so I'm starting to see some of that, too. But, I would take... So
did you guys, did you believe that she wasn't texting?
Right.
No, I didn't believe she wasn't So that's the thing. Like, I never confronted her. I never had that talk with her. It was always Joe. So for the whole time, Joe would like literally hide her, smother her, like wouldn't let her out basically to even say anything. That's why I take Samantha's side because literally she was like literally you ask a question and Joe would answer it and wouldn't let Samantha. So you almost didn't hear from her for like a week, and then all of a sudden when she's trying to get out of this relationship, she's crawling out. And, then you finally get to actually, there's Samantha. Like, she gets to talk without Joe. So she finally got to come out, and it's unfortunate.
So there was some foreshadowing there when they showed the crab crawling out, like, right after. Did you see that? I was like, why did they show that? Yeah, okay.
That was it.
I mean, the animal cutaways are always a metaphor. Yeah. So.
Well, and he went back to that, like, when his name was Justin, right? The new guy?
Yep.
So Justin came, and it was kind of like, if I can't have her, no one can.
Yeah,
right?
That's the look he had.
I'm not joking. So, and I don't know if there's some clips, like just kind of some behind the scenes, and I'm talking to Samantha, actually getting to know her, and literally every time, like Joe's, it's just like eyes dead on us, like I'm doing something wrong, and I'm like, I'm eating my avocado, like it's gonna be okay.
So when you heard footsteps behind you, you were like, sorry, I thought you were Joe, man.
Yeah.
It was just so that's why it was just so awkward, and we were just trying to diffuse the whole thing while we were there,
right?
And because of Joe was just so persistent about like he was just kind of digging. He just kept digging himself on a deeper hole, and he couldn't get out of it. So
the poll question that everyone in the chat room wants asked, especially IGOBYKP.
We see you.
I don't know how to say her name, but she tweets us all the time. She's awesome. Igoibaikup.
I think that's exactly how it's pronounced.
She said, poll question: should Dan take his shirt off right now?
Oh yeah, we've never had any shirts off.
Cold in the studio.
Gosh.
I have a headset on.
What, you afraid of nipping out? What's it about?
Yeah. If Brooks takes his off and you take yours off.
It's getting. I will go for the next 10 minutes with my shirt off if you guys do it.
Whoa, this is amazing.
10 minutes. Hold on. You guys have like desk cover. What am I doing here?
Are we doing this or no?
This is a family
I thought I could
program.
get you guys warmed up.
Excuse me.
Let's save it for the end. Let's build up the steaminess and then
I'm like, why wait, guys? Why?
The chat roll is going crazy right now. People are like, yes.
Hold on, people.
build up the anticipation.
Maybe we'll see.
Give it all out.
Let's see what happens at the end of the show. Yeah. So before we move on from Samantha and Joe and this whole situation, what's next? I know you know, so we have to be careful. But what do we see? What do you guys see happening with Justin now coming in, taking her? Joe's gonna. He's gonna flip.
I want Dan to answer it first.
I do too.
I feel like it's like, why ask us when you got Dan?
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very good to watch.
So even better.
It gets. I'm not joking. This show is gonna get better. Like,
how many more episodes are there?
So we have 2 more weeks. So 4 episodes.
More episodes.
And the way they're kind of pushing off the rose ceremonies, there's a lot that still needs to happen before the next rose ceremony.
Holy.
So you're going to get a lot of good...
So 3 more rose ceremonies, though, because tonight's didn't happen. And
yeah.
Or, right? Is that the way?
Well,
There
it was
will
a
be
rose
2.
ceremony in last night's.
Right.
Yep.
I have a
Because
question.
Claire went home.
Can't.
There's
I
four.
hate
There's
it.
4 more episodes. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
Are there any, you don't have to say who,
okay.
you may not be able to say it, but please say it. Are there any really secure couples right now that, like,
I mean, it's
really?
apparent, right?
Jade and Tanner.
Yep.
And I
Nick
think
and Carly?
Carly and Kirk?
Wait, what was it?
Ashley, when she was like super drunk with the tequila, was like, Cock and Carly. And I was like, oh, sweetheart, go to bed. It's time for bed. You're done. You're all done.
I mean, so those are the
Solid
kind of
couples,
locks right now.
Did Kurt have you guys call him Captain Kirk?
No, he hated anything else.
But he did TextGate. He brought it up.
TextGate was good.
Yeah. Oh,
Was
so
that
was
a Kirk
okay.
original?
So a lot of these things we don't even hear until
Yeah.
the ITMs come out, right? So it's funny, like especially the Tanner thing about the chess pieces.
Yeah.
Like that got played over and over again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
That's a
he had this
producer
whole
line,
thing going.
right?
No, Tanner's.
That's Tanner?
Yeah, that's Tanner.
What about the
Tanner
Tanner
things.
box?
Tanner said a few things that sounded like a producer line, but he might just be
Because
very
he might have had to say them a
articulating.
couple times.
Yeah. Well, you also got to realize like those guys just came off the Bachelorette,
They know
right?
how
So
to do
they're
it.
in
That's
mode,
true.
right? They
Yeah.
love the the ATM or the ITMs are just cranking.
So that leads me to a question. So, speaking of this show, for those of you who are new, this is like the best it's been. Like
Yeah.
I've watched, and I'm like
fantastic.
more entertained right now than ever. And you're saying the show's going to
Agreed.
get better.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like every night now. For sure, because look, I went Bachelor in Paradise, the first one, I didn't even watch.
Well, let's hear your prime example. You
I
guys,
didn't watch
you
it.
guys do not watch Bachelor or Bachelorette or any of that. Okay, you're both married. Your wives are interested in it or have watched it. So this is the first time you've seen it. Though. Was it entertaining?
Out of 10. Scale of 1 to 10.
Use your words.
Well, it started with black boxes. Yes, they loved
true.
it.
God, yeah.
you guys had some
Wait, what were the
great
black
comments.
boxes on?
Over
Carly
the
and Tenley were doing.
I
Like
got the
Turn it
unedited. I was watching on a computer before, so I got swear
Oh, so
words,
what'd you
everything.
splits.
Black boxes.
Splits and Daisy Dukes. It's not
The black
We
boxes
were
were
literally
unnecessary.
walking around each other half naked all the time, anyways.
So were the black boxes unnecessary?
Yes.
Jillian's were necessary.
They're not ABC. They were ABC friendly with the black boxes.
Oh, okay.
It probably
I
would
was-
have gone over well without.
Because
them.
my whole black box theory was going to be
Can be
completely
after Paradise.
But back to you. Okay, so what did you think? You didn't even get a word in edgewise.
Wait, can we talk about the black boxes again? Or
Yeah,
not?
let's
Okay.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
No, I'm saying, no. I'm saying,
Oh, right.
the
So,
scale.
like,
Yeah.
No, 1 to 10. If you say 1 out of 10, that means you gave it a 1
No, that's
out of
what
10.
1.
Yeah.
It was entertaining tonight. I'll give you that. I was laughing a lot.
Good.
Yes.
So, it was-
Even at the
we got
drama.
6
And
or
that's
7.
from this is your first time, so you don't know the characters, anything.
Never.
Like,
Well,
what
that's a win.
TV shows out of 10 for you?
That's good.
The
Provide the
Bachelorette.
scale.
Yeah, move this.
The Bachelorette.
Yeah,
obviously.
okay.
Caitlyn
Yeah.
season. You
Oh,
know?
so that was my original question. Did you like this experience on Bachelor in Paradise better than Bachelor? Because you've had both.
Completely blows the experience
Yeah.
on Bachelorette. out of
Really?
water. Yeah, it was fun. It was an experience. It wasn't, hey, you're one of 26, like a little pawn, and let's put you in and see how it works. It was living. It was hanging out on a resort. It was interactive. So it wasn't so
fun.
one-sided.
There was crying.
So do you think that the
Crying.
participants for that, because Sarah and I kind of talked about this a little bit, where the show is bigger now than it was when we were on Dez's season.
Yep.
Like they're doing a lot more. They're incorporating a lot more.
So a
They're
lot of
making more
social
interesting
media,
social
yeah.
media. We weren't even allowed to text
Celebrities.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Or tweet afterwards. So the question is, do you feel like the participants that are now going to be on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, going there for the quote-unquote right
Yeah.
reasons, may be in question, and then those who want to get on Bachelor in Paradise, because if that show's going to keep getting better and better, will people, because when Bachelor in Paradise first came out, no one wanted to do it.
So your
Yeah.
question is, will people go on Bachelor Bachelorette to get to Bachelor in Paradise?
Or no, those that are coming off of Bachelor in Paradise start vying to be on Bachelor, or
So-
Bachelor and Bachelorette
Right.
vie to be on Bachelor in
Yeah.
Paradise. Does that make sense?
That's
Yeah.
what
I think you confused yourself with that question.
No,
No.
our participants basically going to come on to Bachelor and Bachelorette,
To
basically
do
put
the
stuff just to get on Paradise. They don't care about
like
the
I
Bachelorette.
said last week. It's like people are going to start.
But I would argue that there's always been people going on the Bachelorette to become the next Bachelor.
That's true.
You know, so there's always, I think there's always going to be some
But now
other...
there's just so much more possibility that you might not become the Bachelor, but you get to go do
but
this,
look
and
at
you get
how
to
many,
talk to Amy Schumer.
Yeah, but look at how many seasons there's been.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's such a small pool.
Very small.
You know, that I don't think... if people are going to set that much time aside, they're probably not going to make it, first off, right?
Or they will, actually.
Well, we'll see.
There's always going to be one or
much
two with ulterior motives,
Yeah.
but you can't spoil a whole season because of one or two people. Though.
Yeah.
And it's making
and
entertaining television.
You know,
I guess.
too, from taking time off work, like, it's not easy to do.
Right.
There's only specific people willing to, you know, that have jobs that they have to go to every day, the flexibility to do it. And so, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be a huge concern that people want to, you know, do. But it was fun. I would never have, you know, looked at Bachelorette and been like, oh, I can't wait for the next thing down the road. Like, I was into it, I want to do it, and then, you know, this happened to come along, and I didn't even think that was even going to happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other relationships we need to digest and talk about. Let's talk about Jared and Ashley I. Why are you laughing right away?
Great. This is
Well, let's talk about Jared and Ashley I. I mean,
I think it's funny we're even considering it a relationship.
Yeah,
it
and
wasn't.
that she like last night when Jared broke up with me, it's like
he didn't break up with you guys.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't make sense to me, but as a girl, what, like, did he give her something that made her think that, or is that her that fabricated this thing in her mind?
I think that's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she just gets a little carried away when she gets attention from men.
She said herself a couple of episodes ago, she said, when I zone in on a guy, he's all I see. And I was like,
And she's aware. Like, she's,
ding, 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 ding.
she's
Red
fully
flags.
aware that she's like, I'm going to be messed up over this forever.
And he
like,
seriously, like, they kissed a couple of times. Did they go on a one-on-one?
Yeah.
Maybe one?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Babe, no. Like, that wasn't a relationship.
Poor
She needs...
girl.
Dan, was that apparent to you there?
Yeah, so Ashley and I got to know when I first met. I met her and her sister, and I think their first question was like, "If you were a celebrity, who would you be?" You know, and we're not gonna have much in common. And so I kind of like you guys have your own fun time on
But
this.
who would you be?
So, but the real question is
Hasselhoff. That's why you got the intro.
So I got to know her, and the apparent thing about Ashley is she is. I mean, you saw her on After Paradise, right?
Yeah.
She was great. She was funny. That's Ashley. When she meets a guy that she's infatuated with, it gets in her head and it spins her, and she can't be herself.
Oh, wow.
And so that's the tears, the awkward moments. That's her literally not knowing what to do with a guy that she really likes. It's like, I mean, it's like the bunny, you know, and Tommy, like, she's just like so excited about it and doesn't know what to do with it, and she ends up ruining it because she's so into it.
Yeah.
I pat it and I pat it and
and then
And massage it. Okay, so then we get to basically that's the end of. For going back to last night.
Did you get that or not?
Oh, what is that from?
It's Tommy. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we didn't get that. We didn't get that reference.
Absolutely, thank you. Not so much here, here, right.
Oh, I know that part.
Do you?
Yes.
All right, I'm just checking.
Looks like you fell in some white crud. Is that the same movie?
I don't know that one.
Actually, that was a
I
good
want
line.
a whole separate show. Sarah trying to say movie quotes.
I do not do movie quotes like at all. I have the worst memory.
This is fantastic.
I
So,
have, wait, I have
Or
a question.
impersonation.
So I don't know if you saw, like, Ashley called Caitlyn.
Yes.
That's
let's
a
talk
little
about
like,
this for a second.
come on,
So
that was.
I joked with, I called Jared because he that first came out on Men Tell All, and he was pissed.
Yeah.
And so I told him, like, why don't we do a spoof, and like I call someone else to be like Jared.
Yeah.
Be like, Jared, she is still so obsessed with you because she still tweets about him and talks about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is.
That was a little.
She's a
far
beautiful.
out.
She's a stunning girl.
Yeah.
She just needs to understand that, don't get so intense so quickly.
That's why I thought it was fake at first. I'm like, there's no way someone that's that's attractive is like that.
Well, then there's something else I want to talk about here is the JJ predicament. I know this seems like so long ago because so much has happened in the show, but last night he was in a predicament.
Yeah.
He had 3 different people he could give his rose to, and he had no connection with any of them. And somehow, JJ leaves the show for a
good
girl
guy.
that he had just broken up with and is a hero.
Seriously.
Yeah, did you hear the music?
Well,
He got the hero
It was
edit.
like-
Even Carly was like, he's a genius.
I was like, the American flag at one point was going to
Yes.
appear behind him, and he was going to be like, at ease, soldiers, and like salute everybody, and you guys were all going to salute him back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What did you see in the moment?
Well
You're standing
done.
there, you're like, what is happening?
So he was literally tearing up when we got pulled aside
Sure.
before we had to walk up, and I'm like, what's going on, man? What's the deal? And so he, you know, the you good? This is good stuff. So it is warm too, which is even better. So he was allowed to FaceTime with his daughter, which the people with kids were. And his daughter came on, it was that day, and said, Daddy, and I don't know this girl's name, but so-and-so took me to the zoo today. And he was literally like, never called the girl anything, and this girl like took her time to go take his daughter. So he literally was like, what am I doing here?
Right.
Like, I have this girl that came out of nowhere to take my daughter to the zoo, and I'm gone. So he was
Snap
like, I'm
back to
out.
reality.
Yeah. And so that's, I think we all kind of respected him for that. It wasn't like, hey, like I wanted to go have fun in paradise, so I dropped this girl, and like they had been breaking, they were on the outs, and then he had the opportunity to come on. He
Well, it's
did
interesting
it,
to
and
me
then-
that even without that backstory as a viewer, I still felt like it was okay what he was doing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys got the full story there.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of had his back.
And he's one of those guys, like when he first came in, I didn't write him off, but I'm like, I don't know, and then he started growing on me. Now I consider him a great friend.
I said this last week. I was like, I didn't get him as first. I didn't get the humor. He's grown on me tons. I actually sent him a DM last week. And guys, we want him to come on the show next time
JJ,
he's in
come on
LA.
the show. Come
And the
hang.
fans love him. Like he really
He's
kind
great.
of became a hero.
Well, and that was, I think, the smartest thing he did too, because he came off of a bad edit, like accepting Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
He gave him an opportunity to retell the story a little bit,
But
have a little bit more control.
even him being brash on After Paradise last week, he still came off looking good. You're still like, this guy's pretty funny,
Yeah.
Like he's a
his
good,
own show.
and that's what I think. I think he's a good human being. So no matter how intense the pressure cooker, he's still going to come off looking good.
So we get to this rose ceremony, and he's got Julia or Megan. Megan he had went on a date with, and they had a good time, but he
Or
obviously...
Claire, right?
Well, or he could give it to Claire, but remember he sat Julia down, and she was like, I don't want the pity rose.
Yeah.
And then he surprises everybody and gives it to Ashley S.
Who's like, I'm not accepting this, just so you know.
Which blew me away too. Yeah.
Were
Was that
you like,
everybody?
Man, can't get rid of her.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, everyone was surprised.
Wait, was it before or after you?
Before me, I was the last one.
There was a couple
So
editing
were you
mistakes.
like, I'm off the hook?
No, because it was, it's a weird thing. It was tough.
Come on, Dan.
I walked into that rose ceremony, and I will be 100% honest, I had no idea who I was getting my rose
Really?
from.
Really?
Like,
It's
no idea.
really funny how
Yeah.
after Nick came in and they went on the date, like you just kind of got absolved of Ashley. Like it would
Like
just
you were-
kind of disappeared. It was
Or
like
did
off your
you?
plate.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, we had a lot of conversations even before the rose ceremony when she gave me the rose, and it was kind of like we need to start taking. I don't.
Have you talked to her?
No, not since. Yeah.
When you talk to her, is it she's not like quiet?
Well, you said
all
tonight.
day?
You said 20%. The ratio you gave tonight. You kind of
Yeah.
like.
So I never watched the season before, so I didn't
Okay.
know her. So everyone's like, "There's the Onion Girl," and I'm like, I don't know what that even means, but
Yeah.
she's nice.
Oh,
and
really?
she's, like talking to me, so it's fine. And
She's talking to me.
So she eats onions, so
So
what?
we had the first night we had a good time, and then the next day she wasn't feeling good. So I told producers like, let me know if there's anything I can do. I saw the ambulance, I went up, and then after the hospital we kind of hit it off, and we had a good time, and I got to know her as the 80% that I talked about.
Yeah.
And then the further things went along, I started seeing that 20% come out, and like even at the rose ceremony, like she was calling out Michael G and saying some things that were just inappropriate, and just like you don't need to keep digging on this guy. He knows he's not getting a rose, you know. And I'm just like, just stop. This is my good friend. Like you don't have to do these things.
Right.
And she would get defensive and just had like a weird rationale that you couldn't. I shouldn't say it. Basically, I couldn't rationalize with her. I couldn't come to terms
Reason.
with what she. Yeah, I couldn't reason with her at all. So that was just like one of the things.
Gotcha.
And so then some of the more crazy started coming out, and I kind of once she went on the date with Nick, that's what happens in Paradise. Once you kind of separate and you open up, then it's not as much.
And
pressure.
it's understood that it's okay to move at that kind of
Totally,
pace.
It's dating.
a different world.
It's dating, right?
Yeah.
You're dating people. The only difference is you're living on the same resort together, which makes it awkward.
Did you say this during
Yes.
tonight? Tell me what you said of something, and I was like, that's really good.
Back real quick to Sam and Joe. So in LA, I'm from Australia. Dating is very different in LA. So in LA, apparently it's like cool, like if you're talking to people and you're even dating for a little while, like I've read a statistic, 70% of people don't know if they're actually on a date. Are you texting someone now, or are you like
Oh no, keep going, I'm listening.
Right, cool.
I don't know, something about not really paying attention.
He's
watching.
like that.
He's on a date right now.
He's on a date right now. He's on a date right
That's
now.
a date
It's no
now.
big deal. No, but like, you can be texting other people like at the same time, and you can be on, like, you can be dating someone and like dating 3 people at once until you make it exclusive. So with Sam, was she just kind of texting people before, and nothing was serious yet, but then she's kind of getting hammered? Yeah, good idea. Getting hammered like when she's on the show because she was texting that
Justin
guy.
and
No, it wasn't Justin.
But that's, to be honest, like that's what people do every day.
Oh.
Like
So she was just doing maybe the show, like she was trying to figure out like different things before she got on the show. But I'm just saying, like, dating in LA, that's kind of, I guess, how it happens. But then on the show, it's different. Does that make sense?
I think that's in general, not even in LA. I think people top that out, like go on dates with people until you get to a space where
So where exactly. So where everyone was getting upset at her for doing that.
because she lied about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it was.
That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's it.
Okay. It's because she. So if she had come on and said,
It started with Joe lying about it, and then basically then she did too, and so it was just a snowball.
It wasn't the pre-talking to someone or multiple people. It was the fact that,
like,
just be honest.
Nick came in and said, he was like, yeah, we've been texting, and he's fine. Everyone liked him.
Okay.
He was being honest. Like, that's all anyone wanted.
Yeah, I think he even said in the first like 15 minutes he was there, he was like, yeah, we've been texting.
Yeah, and he's like, I met her in LA. It was great.
Right.
And I thought to myself, God, Joe, if you would have just done
Said that.
That's it. That's all I had
the
to do.
whole thing changes.
But that's-
everything.
It wouldn't be a good season.
That's what every lie is about, right? Every liar who got himself caught in a lie is like, just come clean in the beginning. It would have been,
Right.
not even close to as bad.
I wrote this down. My grandma and my mom used to tell me this. It said, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive." Have you heard this? Here,
I've heard this before.
let me drop some knowledge. Oh, what a tangled web we
a
weave
preach.
when we practice to deceive. For some reason, I learned that when I was like 9, and it's so true. And here on my birthday, however many years later, I can't do the math that quick. You're really good at quick math. What is it? 31, 9, 20.
Carry the 6.
23, 22. 22 years later.
Yes.
Still
Well, that's
arranged.
good. And I think that's it. Like, if people had just been honest the whole time, the show
the
would be
beginning.
way less dramatic. So, producers would have been a little upset.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it just is the whole honesty thing.
Dan, I got a question for you. So, like, because we don't see this.
you
We
just
don't
call him
see
Caitlin?
Is this the hot
No, I said Dan.
Oh, I thought you called. Didn't it sound like you said Caitlin?
Well, we don't get
getting
to
old.
have you very often. You know what I mean? Like Sarah's starting like an old broken record. We had her 3 times.
She did
I know.
very well last week.
I did
watched.
really well.
Yeah, I was-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. So someone tweeted and was like, "Oh, it's so sweet how nice Sarah talks about Dan." I'm like, "Oh, I gotta check this out."
I did. Yeah, I did.
Well, I wanted to know because we don't see the like sleeping quarters. We don't see anything. That's all on the beach.
Yeah.
But first Bachelor in Paradise, you got to see into that a little bit.
Yeah.
What was the living quarters like? Give me some behind
We
the
saw
scenes stuff.
Joe sleeping for like 2
Yeah.
seconds, and that's all we saw.
So that was originally Mikey's room, and then when Mikey left, Joe took it over.
Oh, that's right, they talked about it,
so
yeah.
it's ironic.
So like bunk beds,
Well,
hammocks.
so there was
floor.
one solo twin bed, like college dorm
gosh.
twin.
Yeah.
And then there was 6 bunks. So
Sounds like
all the guys
paradise.
were together. And then there's kind of another room. So the new people that come in, they get their own little room
Until they can move
move into. So we called it Gen Pop.
What?
Like in
What did
prison.
you call it?
Gen Pop.
What?
Gen
Oh,
pop.
Gen Pop.
General
Ours was,
population.
Oh,
population.
general
Yeah.
population.
Yeah.
We called ours the Boom Boom Room.
So we, yeah.
Or no. I don't remember.
I don't know because
You
I was in like
stated
I was
it.
in a separate space.
Yeah.
I was in the small little room.
You were
I
in
was
the
big
he was in
room.
the
newcomer
segregated.
space.
You hadn't come
Yeah.
to Gen Pop yet.
He was in holding.
Yeah, I was in holding.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
So there's the holding room and then Gen Pop.
I never made it out of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know the prison.
Yeah,
years
prison.
ago.
Yeah. You haven't been to prison?
No, never.
And then there was.
I'm still going there.
Okay, so we did have a boom boom room, and then there was a tree house. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, there's a tree house.
Yeah.
Because was it Michael that was saying they could kind of hear Jade and Tanner upstairs?
That was the tree house.
Oh, it's upstairs.
So how many nights a week was somebody in the treehouse?
Just daily.
Dan, I'm not going to ask you if you were ever in the treehouse because that's
It was
not
being
fair.
used.
But the treehouse was being used.
So remember the treehouse was being used.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the what do they call it? The Ash paranormal activity or whatever?
Oh yeah.
That was in the boom boom room. So there's only two common
When
areas.
she was buzzing around the bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Southern gentleman was in it.
The Southern gentleman. He's
Yeah. I want to go into Jen. I want to be there on next Bachelor in Paradise just so I can have I can be cap counselor. Like in the short shorts. All right, everybody.
Please.
That would make
I know.
like or have Jorge do it.
The bar. He's serving up
Jorge.
drinks in the
Have
short shorts.
Jorge wear the shorts that Nick actually wore. Was that Nick?
Yeah,
was wearing
Nick
those shorts?
was wearing those shorts. Yeah.
Those little blue
Yeah.
things.
No, no one wants to see that.
He doesn't need
But if it's Jorge, it's a little different story.
Jorge's gonna become a permanent.
Seriously,
Yeah.
have you seen him like walk his
Jorge
way
actually
into the
didn't
show?
like
Yeah.
me too much.
Why?
Oh no, I heard that.
Yeah.
Why?
How did you hear
So-
that? And then why?
He talked about it on Twitter. He's like, hate
Yeah,
that guy.
Jorge.
George's a great Twitter
It's
follower.
trending. So when I had ended things with Ashley, and Amber and I were talking.
Yeah.
I literally came up and I thought we were cool. I was like, Jorge, I need 2 drinks, and he's like, okay, Dan, and he literally comes back and he's like, this one's for you, and this is for the other girl. And I'm like, not tipping you. Get out of here.
Wait, you guys were tipping?
Were you tipping?
No.
Well, Joe
you were
was.
tipping
He kept
everywhere.
calling him you're the man. That was his tip.
That was his tip,
You're
yeah.
the man.
Encouraging.
And that's a high
You're the
currency.
man.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
I feel like we at least mention this because we're coming close here. So Tanner and Jade, they go on their date. This whole private plane situation, Guadalajara, tequila. Is this going to happen forever? They're exclusive now.
I think
Fantasy
so.
suite.
They're the most likely, I reckon.
Yeah.
Most likely, more than Kirk
Done
and Carly.
Off
They're
the dance?
really
I think
together.
so.
Kirk and Carly.
The way they
Kirk and
talk just looks. Kirk and Carly they kind of look like the little I'm in paradise. I know I'm supposed to be falling in love, so I'm saying those types of things.
Yeah.
That's the kind of vibe I get still.
From Tanner and
No. From Kirk and Carly.
Gotcha.
Whereas with Jade and Tanner,
feels genuine.
it feels genuine
It
and their
does.
conversation feels calm and not they're not using Bachelor buzzwords as much.
Yeah, because they're like, he's the best person in the world. I'd go
Ever.
fishing with him any day.
Yeah, there's predictions out there about them two at the end of the season, and the little clip we see of Tanner about to hand out the rose, and he goes, "I can't give you this rose." Then it cuts away.
See that? No.
Oh yeah, you were gone. Yeah, he goes, "I can't give you this rose." And then it was like, what
dun,
just
dun.
happened? Yeah, so, but there's rumors that it's something else. I won't say. It's
Well,
out there.
I mean,
It's out there on the
that's
World Wide
kinda
Web, and I don't want to get a confirmation.
You looked it up.
You're not going to get it.
I didn't look it up. I got Snapchatted to me. What am I supposed to do?
Stop.
No,
So I will tell you,
Snapchat.
at this point, everyone saw Kirk and Carly and Jade and Tanner kind of on the same plane.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, there we go.
Okay.
I also want to talk about the fact that Ashley said something in the hot tub that was probably one of the funnier things I've ever heard in my life. She said, "Cheers to the fact that I will always be here for you like a sister." And he goes right away, "Well, that's weird because we kissed."
Yeah.
That was good.
I didn't know that.
You didn't hear that? You
Oh,
missed
Nick-
that?
I didn't
So
hear
good.
that. Man.
Nick's commentary about her was great. So I mean, he was literally. So I think he came into it the same way I did. He didn't really know, and so when she started kind of the crazy right with him,
Yeah.
because they were drinking, and yeah, he was great. It was. I mean, he literally was like, "I'm not. I don't. Please don't call me your sister. Like, just don't do it.
Just start
This is not good for anybody."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, and then we talked about Jared and Ashley. I just want to make sure we get all this in because people are getting mad when we don't cover something. So Mikey T and Julia, we need to talk about this. So Julia approaches Chris and says that she. What are you laughing about?
I don't know.
I feel like you have thoughts and feelings on this already.
No, I know. I
Sarah,
don't.
what are your thoughts on
I
Alright,
don't.
so-
I think they're adorable.
Sarah Herron, Mikey T and Julia. Is this gonna happen? Like,
Well, I always thought
outside of
I always thought Mikey was Beefheart. I like Mikey a lot.
Mikey's another one that's grown on me.
So
I
I'm
like
really,
Mikey.
I'm happy he's back.
Okay,
think-
that's pretty cool.
And
that
I
they
thought it
did
was
that.
a fun date.
Yeah.
It was a fun. That date looked. I want to go watch that. Nacho Libre. What is it called?
Yeah.
Lucha Libre.
Lucha Libre.
Nacho.
From Nacho. And from now on, we're going to refer to Mikey T as Nacho on the show.
Nacho.
Yeah, when Nacho.
Wait, can we just
Intern.
talk about the fact that the date that Mikey goes on is a wrestling match?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just, I mean,
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah,
Of course it
like
is, though.
the next best thing would have been like a CrossFit competition.
And they call him up to the stage.
Yeah.
Julia was into it though.
Yeah, no, it was great.
like-
They looked really, really cute together.
So would that be on par with like introducing yourself, as Michael said in his tweet today? Like, hi, I'm a CrossFitter. Would it be like, hi, I do lucha libre?
Yeah.
Like that's
Would you go
just
on a
as
date with me?
douchey. Yeah.
It was just classic.
I thought maybe they were gonna have like a surprise and pull him into the ring and like he was gonna take his shirt off and like do this whole.
Yeah.
But they did have a surprise for us. Overnight stay on the first date.
Well, so,
What?
there's another thing I want
Yes.
to talk to you about this, ladies.
Yes.
Fellas, yeah.
I know this was a
Your girlfriend got the... No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I know this was a first date, but it's a special first date. This was a very
Yeah.
unique circumstance.
Everyone else's first dates suck.
Does that,
So-
Elyse and Sarah, make it okay?
Sarah?
I think it's okay. I mean, he came back for her. Their intentions. It's not like they met today. And
So because he flew all the way back down and it was heightened circumstances, it's okay.
well, we don't know what happened in there. So
No, we don't.
for
They did
all
say
we
they kept
know,
it
they just
classy.
went and had like a nice evening together. We don't know. I think it's
Yeah.
okay.
And
It's
we
okay.
just stayed up watching movies, right, guys?
Well, and at least they
Room
get to.
service, Friends episodes.
It's not like we saw them getting like hot and heavy and then roll into the fantasy.
I don't think that's their
suite.
style.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
so
do that.
I
No,
think
they
it's-
wrestled the whole time.
They wrestled.
She had
practiced their
mad-
moves.
Oh, her bed hair
Yeah.
though was so funny.
So I guess, so Dan, I'm wondering this. Hypothetically, that happens to you. You're on a date, you get that. Is one of the first thoughts in your brain, I don't want this to, like, this would look bad in America on the edit?
Because when you're in that situation, for me,
Yeah.
even if it was the first date, and they said, "Hey, we have a hotel room," I'd take it in a heartbeat because you get to be off
'Cause you're a
camera.
man.
No, not even that. No, Hey,
You said
literally
that.
because you get to be off camera and you get
Yeah.
to be away from everything. So it's
Yeah.
100% I take it because otherwise it's like, all right, have a good night, and you never talk
So you
to
wouldn't
each
be
other,
worried
right?
that they would edit and make it look like, this guy's just like in it for the hotel room.
I wouldn't even care.
So, but if you say no, I feel like it's worse. If they're like, you have this thing to do,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
nah, thanks. Everyone's be like,
I'd be like, oh,
what's wrong with her?
We're
Nice
living literally 10 feet from each other, sleeping next to each other anyways. Like,
Yeah.
just because the door's shut and it's only you two. I
Also,
mean,
you're not gonna pass on an opportunity for air conditioning.
Exactly. I wouldn't. No, yeah. I needed that AC.
Wow. Okay. So then,
Netflix and chill.
trying to make sure we
Netflix
cover
and
everything.
chill.
So Justin walks in and is going to take Samantha on a date. We talked about that. We talked about Caitlyn. I just want to make sure we have everything covered. So, because last week we left one thing out and everybody was not happy about it. Okay. So, Dan.
Uh-oh. Off the record.
Yeah, we want to know some off the record things. Some
Yes.
things that, not that could get anybody in trouble, but some things that we won't get to see. They're deleted scenes that are deleted for a reason.
How about this? How about you guys ask about things that you saw and what led up to them or what?
I want to know about Chris Harrison's involvement because it seems like it's. I know this is not probably you guys would know, but I want to know about his involvement. Is he really just not around, or do you see him? Is he ever there?
No, just for the important stuff. So rose ceremonies, new people coming in, things
So he
like
doesn't
that.
ever like come hang and have a drink with the guys.
So when Julia went and she was like by herself and she
Yep.
wanted like the rose or she didn't want the pity rose or whatever, she wanted to talk about Mikey T. Would she have gone to a producer who then went to get Chris Harrison and then he like had the conversation?
Yeah, because they made it kind of look like Chris was just chilling there.
But he
like-
definitely wasn't.
I mean, in the rose ceremonies, yeah. I mean, he's kind of up. He has his own little quarters and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I'm sure she grabbed a producer and said, "Hey, I want to talk to Chris."
Right.
Yeah.
Or they probably were like, I'd like to talk to her producer. And he's
Yeah.
like, how about you talk to Chris?
I want to ask
Sets it
about
up.
something we talked about last week because it was a good subject.
Mm-hmm.
When we see Ashley,
You just got really intense right there with that.
She did.
Well, because I'm curious when
Okay.
Ashley asks Chris
Mm-hmm.
for the overnight date.
Yeah, we still haven't seen this. He
What
said there's a
about
lot to
that?
go down, and fans are wondering about this because there's the talk of
Yeah.
virginity and pregnancies and all kinds of things. What can you tell us about that?
You're just gonna have to wait to see.
Is he getting named Chris Lee?
It could be.
In combo name.
How many people do we have left to come into it? Justin and Nick, and then how many people are we have
Just
left?
came in. Well, then there's gonna be
Next week, girls come.
Yeah, next week girls come.
Girls come.
Yep.
And then that's it.
No, and then one more round of guys. No, because in the preview they show. When you smile
we see
when you smirk, it means something.
what's his name?
Yeah.
We see
Bukowski
comes in. Is it officially making this his 4th?
This is his 4th
Oh my
appearance.
gosh, that guy just keeps showing up on every season.
Is that counting the one where he showed up at the beginning and they wouldn't let him in the house?
That counts that one.
So 4 different seasons.
Yeah.
So he officially
Whoa.
holds the title.
Yeah.
No, he does?
Yeah, he's held the most. This actually may be 5.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
5. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there's... Yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah.
crazy? Were you at the fire pit when Joe tried to reintroduce himself to Sam?
Oh, yes.
The most awkward moment.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Like, I'm not joking. That whole the Joe depression period, like that timeline of him being broken.
The Great Depression.
The Great Depression of Joe. It was so uncomfortable. Anytime he was around, it was just so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
Was everyone just really quiet while he was trying? Did she just completely ignore him?
Yeah.
Was that editing?
Yeah.
She just ignored him.
She just ignored him. Talked to Amber. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So weird.
Yeah.
That was
so as of this episode, if you're a viewer like us and you're not on the show,
because you also have to think of Joe coming in the way he was, and then being like, "Hey, where are you from?" You're like,
his delivery was so awkward.
I would have done. I would have probably ignored him too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Are you crazy?
But are you okay? Has there been some kind of?
So back to this
what
first topic we
predator,
talked about,
yeah.
Joe and Samantha. Before we wrap up, as a viewer right now, if we did that same live poll, who do you fall on? Do you fall on like the believing Joe or believing Samantha? Where does your loyalty fall as a viewer?
I mean,
to be objective.
So his apology or his whole
Just the whole spiel. Like, if you're watching this as a viewer, are you more like, "Gosh, Joe's a dick," or "Gosh, Sam, you really made it look like like you're a villain"?
I would say you take Joe out of the equation.
Yeah.
Samantha is not even close to the person you're seeing right now. So I think he started this downward spiral, and she got wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to come off? It's going to continue worse for her, or is it going to get better?
It doesn't look. So right now it doesn't look good, but hopefully it turns
So then,
out
why
better.
do you think that's happening? Like, if everyone's like, "This isn't who she is," like, why?
I just think she got pulled. Like I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time, so that's why I can say like I literally think she got wrapped up into this Joe thing, and then she fell in this hole with Joe, and she's trying to get out. He's trying to get out.
Now, I know After Paradise has got some, they have some celebrity guests, and they have Chris Harrison, and they've got
Jenny Mullen.
But I mean, did you have more fun on After Paradise, or did you have more fun on AfterBuzz TV?
AfterBuzz.
That's the poll.
You guys kept me a lot longer than they did.
Oh, there we go. That's right. And we didn't make fun of your haircut or talk about.
No one made fun of my haircut, did they?
You got out really well, because a lot of times they like.
Oh no, they made fun of
pull-
Joe's haircut.
They made fun of Joe.
They made fun of Joe's.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Gosh, well, thanks so much for joining us, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
This was
So good.
I think fans are gonna freak out. This was really good insight.
Would
Yeah.
you do it again? Would you go
What?
back and do Bachelor in Paradise again?
Yeah.
If you haven't
Oh,
found
that's-
love,
Yeah.
Yeah,
knows?
like basically, did I have a good looking back on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and you guys can attest to this. I mean, from an experience standpoint, it's like a homecoming with people,
Right.
producers, right? And then on top, it's something that you can't recreate that. I couldn't go on a vacation and repeat that experience, right? So I met some amazing people, came away with some great stories, and some unbelievable friends for life.
So now, having watched the show for the first time, I've listened to Dan. Would you guys, if you weren't happily married with kids, would you guys go? Would you suggest that your mates go?
That's a pressure cooker right there.
You are in the hot
Harry,
seat.
don't make them answer that.
All right, Dan. In the meantime, where can people find you on social media and follow you?
Social media, so Instagram is Daniel G. Cox, Twitter is Dan G. Cox, and that's it.
Love it, Brooks.
You can find me on Twitter at Brooks Allen Forester. That's not even true. I forget every time. It's Instagram is Brooks A. Forester. Twitter's Brooks Forester. You don't care. Go ahead.
you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Sarah Herron and Snapchat the Sarah Herron.
Find me on Instagram and Twitter at Elyse Murphy, and my book at confessionsofaChurchKid.com.
Coming out Tuesday.
Yep, next Tuesday.
Boom, boom. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Hoyt, or on Snapchat at DannyHoyt47. Thank you for all the birthday Snapchats. I love you guys.
Happy birthday!
You can find me and Harrison and Joel in Israel tomorrow.
That's going to be amazing.
Thank you guys for joining us. Dan, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to James in the booth. For Brooks, Sarah, and Elyse, I'm Danny. We'll see you guys next time. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
No, this is I'm just said.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.